Hey, my name is Meg. I live in Greenpoint. I'm 26 years old. I was born and raised in Colorado. I've lived in New York for about 8 years. I'm one of 5 siblings. I am an ESTJ in the Myers-Briggs and an Enneagram 8, which can be an unpopular thing to say. So throwing that out there for all you fellow 8s. For me, Sabbath is really a way that I experience the presence of God through surrender. So, as you might have guessed from my personality type, or if you know me, I tend to be pretty overcommitted and like to try and take control over my circumstances or the things that I'm involved in. So, I think I'm going to be trying to practice surrender for the rest of my life, and Sabbath is a really practical way for me to truly stop and surrender my whole life to God. The hardest part of Sabbath for me is definitely stopping all work, paid and unpaid. It still takes me a lot of effort. I've been practicing Sabbath for maybe 3 or 4 years, and every week I still have to consciously stop my thoughts and impulses to turning to solving a problem at work, or that impulse like, ooh, I should check my Slack because what if somebody needs something from me? But I've found that even in that practice, that helps me reposition myself into my proper place in my relationship with God, where I'm kind of forced to remember that things are out of my control and trust that God is taking care of them. And every time I do that, it builds my faith because God actually does take care of them and keeps the promises. One of the practical ways that I plan my Sabbath is through a do and don't list. So that feels kind of just like a more manageable way for me to plan my days rather than scheduling it, which feels a little bit redundant and defeats the purpose. But through making kind of a do's and don'ts list, I can remember all of the things that I definitely want to spend my time doing and stay away from work or avoid the things that I don't want to do. So some of my don'ts include not checking my email or social media or even using my phone at all most weeks, which requires some planning and communication with my friends and family so that no one thinks that I got kidnapped. Some of my do's include an extended time of reflection and journaling. So my primary prayer practice is through journaling. So in reflecting on the week, I tend to read back through everything that I've journaled and had conversation with God about throughout the week. And that's really helpful, just noticing any patterns or themes that come up. It's kind of painful sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to do it because it's embarrassing to see how often I talk to God about the same things every single day. But it's also really helpful and eye-opening too. I also have a delight practice of urban foraging, like I like to call, and that's just wandering around the neighborhood and trying to find a treat or a treasure for myself, trying to discover something new. New things are always popping up, as we all know, and I have found that it really boosts my sense of wonder and delight in God and the things that they've created, the people they've created in our neighborhood. In the next season of Sabbath for me, I am exploring the balance between solitude and spending time with people that I love. I spent about 2 years practicing Sabbath in complete solitude, so not making any plans, which felt really necessary for the season of life that I was in and provided a lot of healing. I was grieving pretty hard for a lot of that time, so it was really helpful for me to take the pressure off of myself to spend time with other people. But I'm coming out of that season now, and it feels kind of exciting to get to explore what the balance can be for what I need and what I want in the amount of community that I participate in on Sabbath. I guess lastly, I just wanted to encourage you guys that are watching. Sabbath has been a huge gift to me, and I feel like it's completely changed the pace of my life and my habits and the promises that I make and the promises that I can keep it's helped me understand my limitations as a person a lot more, which has given me, I think, a more grounded sense of self in who I am and what I can bring to the world. And I've also found a deeper sense of compassion for myself and for the people in my life. I think by stopping and regularly receiving God's compassion for me just really has grown my sense of empathy for the way that I treat myself, and then the way that I can treat others and hold others with that same empathy and compassion. I hope this was encouraging to you, and thank you for listening.